Welcoming you back to Crypto's juiciest news. Quantitative tightening, the gorilla grip by the US Fed on your nuts and your ovaries has finally ended. QT is finally officially over now, friends. We have more to celebrate coming your way. We're going to be speaking about the state of crypto, the new US Fed chairman, Kevy Boo Hassett, potentially. We're going to be speaking about Arthur Gaze. What did he write about with Tether FUD? Is Tether FUD circulating again? We got Uncle Peter Schiff tweeting from Epstein's Island. We got MicroStrategy making some comments, not about orange dots, but green dots. Elon Musk, your favorite robot, all of that coming your way and more. The first thing we're going to be looking at is this fluffy microphone and some friendship we have right here. This is BTC, of course. Friends, we are ending the month of November, Downvember, Poopvember. We have BTC at around $91,000. The price action is stalling out, kinda. Look, I don't want to jinx it, but we do have everything in play for what we call a lockout rally. Okay, not clock out, not get your clocks out. You know, friends, when the girls are here, you show them your clock. Like, hey, look at this time, and look at this time. You see what I mean? Put your clocks away. When a lockout rally, I'll show you on the price action. I've explained it to you before. It's very, very unique. It's basically the short squeeze, but you don't have like an enormous amount of leverage. Okay, the enormous amount of leverage when you get the short squeeze is what we had in mid-2021, where you had like literally Bitcoin did a $10,000 candle upwards because everybody was just like turbo short. That's because you had a lot of retailers in. A lot of the retailers lost leverage long. Like all of us got destroyed long, remember, from China. And then when people started to put shorts on, but you had a lot of retailers in. Remember, PMI was 60 back then. Now just no one's in here. There's no retail. Now it's basically there's a lot of spot positions. So this is the BTC weekly candle, $91,000. What we're going to do now, let's look at the price action of BTC. It is, friends, a lockout rally. Remember, I don't want to jinx it. You don't know. It's still year of the snake. You know what I mean? It still is year of the snake. But what you'll find is everybody is expecting another crash lower, another crash lower, another crash lower, another crash. Everyone's going to expect this. So what you might actually find happens is just some sort of skitsy poopy, you know, like farty poopy. Oh, something might happen like that. Farty poopy, like just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, this thing fakes everyone out. So, something like this, where just they're like, hey, where's the down? And then they go, oh, don't worry. Now the real bear market has started. So then all the fractals will come out where they say, oh, remember the bear market was all of 2022. So then everybody's going to believe the poopiness is going to come down. January 15th, you have the MSCI Index FUD, Morgan soybeans. They're going to release, you know, probably the information that MicroStrategy and all the other DATs are going to be removed from the ETF potentials, which none of you gave a crap about anyway, so you can't get fearful. Just chill out. And that might, you never know, friends, that might be the one where you get everything like boom, right? And then you have everybody, this is where everyone's like, okay, now it started. Now everyone's going to believe that's what's going to come. But what we might find is we go, wait a minute, it's Year of the Horse coming in soon. It's Year of the Horse. So yeah, a lockout rally gets very, very, very annoying. Very annoying if you're sidelined. You know, you got to remember, friends, these people sold and they paid taxes. Friends, you understand these people, right? They need like Bitcoin, and I'm not joking. Bitcoin at $75,000. A lot of them are like break even now because they had to pay like 30% in tax. You know, 30 to 40% in tax for some people as well. So you got to do the edge on that. You've got quite a distance. That's why, friends, they need these prices out here. Okay, so that's Bitcoin, friends. Obviously not doing much as well, but the big news, yes, quantitative tightening has ended, right? So quantitative tightening, that's what we are. Look, we hope that this is remember, we've got the Bitcoin fractals here. I'll put the liquidity as well. Actually, you see it here. The green chart is the global liquidity. Yellow is just gold. So Bitcoin's gone the other way. That's why it's this unique circumstance. That's why, friends, everybody's short. What they've done is, you know, in 2021, Bitcoin led everything down. Yeah, because the US Fed came out at the end of 2021 in November. Okay, they came out, major loser power, And he made a FOMC, but that no one was paying attention to, right? No one was paying attention to the FOMC here. And they go, well, we're going to raise rates and we kind of got to maybe stop the QE, right? He was very, very gentle with his words, but he basically made it clear, right? And then that's where you had the big capitulation and it was pretty much all over. Okay, and that's where Crypto Kobe made his article that it was all over, right? You don't have that now. Okay, now you got the US Fed saying, we're going to cut rates here. That's why a lot of people say, oh, but we've already gone up. We've already gone up. But we have gone up. Look, you got to think about it another way. That's how I think about it. I think that crypto is so undervalued, right? It has so much potential that even quantitative tightening, even major loser power being a major loser, even all of these headwinds, okay, we were enough to basically start 3/4 of our cycle, okay? But most people are taking the negative perspective of that. What they're saying is they're looking at the orange juice glass and they're saying it's half empty. We're saying it's half full. They're saying, okay, look, it's time to go. It's time to die now. And that's why we're saying, no, man. Look how much heavy lifting we were able to do while they were doing QT. Look how amazing that is, right? So it depends on the perspective of that. There is no conclusive answer. You just need more time. I also want to show you the Bitcoin dominance, friends. Bitcoin dominance hanging around 59% here. It's ticky up, ticky down. It's still hanging around here. We might find as we move into Year of the Horsey, and then you have the new US Fed chairman, that things really start to get underway as they start to move on. If I want to check out something, friends, I wanted to see the 12-month chart of BTC dominance. We can actually have a look at it here. If I put 12M, M for friendship out here. So, friends, this is it. Look, I would feel personally, look, it's not up to us, but it would be nice if this finished green. Because, like, if we finished green for Bitcoin dominance this year, which is literally all it's got to do is just finish above 58%, it would almost like definitively program for me in my head, we're holding all of next year. All of next year. Yeah. Because it would increase the odds in my mind that we literally get the dagger candle to zero for Bitcoin dominance. Okay. It was literally a whole year of just Bitcoin going absolutely bonkers. Okay. Altcoins going bonkers and Bitcoin basically, moving out of the spotlight. But all we can really do, friends, is once again, light the candle. I've been doing it every single day. It's been very, very, very tough out here. A lot of people ask me every day, Somi, how the hell do you do it? It is an absolute abomination, atrocious experience. I know, man, we just run out of words. It's harrowing and horrifying. It's left scars on us permanently, but you have to see the light. We have to see the good out of this. If you don't see the good, then like, what's the point of living? You know what I mean? Like, friends, maybe I'm not joking about this. Okay, you know the Benner cycle. Okay, the Benner cycle, the next like major world, zombie virus type of zombie virus, tech bubble burst type of big black swan. 1999, 2020. The next one I think is 2035. Yeah, so it's like 10 years from now. So like maybe what we've went through today is gonna save you and me in 10 years from now, around 10 years, because you're going to be a bit more switched on. Maybe you're more hedged. Maybe you keep your bullets longer. Maybe because you're like, oh, remember that really, 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 really bad time we went through those altcoins things? That's how it will basically morph your decision-making in the future. And it's not just the things you do, it's the things you don't do. Maybe you end up making great wealth from this and you don't do excessive leverage then. And a lot of people are going to get wiped out in that, right? But we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. Hopefully we can soon. I also want to pay some respects to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, friends, I can't believe, friends, this thing, friends, is literally, like, if there's one thing, this is how bad it's been in altcoins. I know it. Every single person wants to just DCA stocks now. Everyone. They're like, man, I'm done with this stupid crypto trash. I know what everyone's saying, friends. That's why everyone's saying they want to DCA stocks, America, the index, because they go up only. They're programmed to go up only because everyone's programmed to be D-based. And also everybody wants to DCA Bitcoin. And I'm saying, look, man, even if that's the correct move in 10 years from now, hold off on that. Hold off on that because that is majorly consensus. Okay, it is a major, major, major consensus for it right now. And we just got to keep believing as well. So we're going to be waiting to see how it all plays out when it comes to the racist Russell continuing as well, friends. I want to just pay some more appreciations to the racist Russell doing this. Look at this amazing candle as well. If I just show you the daily candles, like, man, this is... I hope this thing continues to hold up. It's in expansion territory out here. So we have December, friends. Remember, we're going to get, PMI data is going to come out. It's always backward looking, right? But some interesting stuff in America, friends. Anti-White Friday, otherwise known as Black Friday, it had record sales. But like when they do the retail sales numbers, they do it very backward. They do it very silly. They report on the USD and they don't adjust for seasonality much or anything. So like every year there's more retail sales because there's more money supply. But it was up by 9.4%, which is great because if it was just a kippy amount, it would be up 3%. But it's actually 9%. Is this, a bit people wanting to finally feel good for the holidays and stuff? You tell me. When it comes to that, we'll get more conclusions later on. QT has officially ended now, friends. It has now literally officially ended. The balance sheet contraction is done. You got to remember they had a balance sheet, friends, of about almost 9 trillion. Let's just call it 9. And it went down to about 6.5. So yes, friends, they did remove about 2.5 trillion, not kabillion, not jelly billion, not trillion, but trillion, 2.4 trillion currency units from the economy. They're letting this stuff roll off. And yes, there's basically, friends, like I said, it's a gorilla grip against your nuts. You're like, you're hurting my scrotum. That's what it feels like, friends. Of all that time, finally they let go. And look, friends, just to tell you, right, this is why, with the power of nipple pegs, I'm now going to just kindly inform you of something. Why I think, and I'm just a peanut brain, I don't know. Why I think this 4-year cycle has already shown us it's broken. Okay. It's because, okay, you check these out, baby. Okay. It's because in the 4-year cycle, the Bitcoin halving year was meant to be the year where you get Bitcoin dominance collapse. Okay. It was meant to be the year where retail rejoins and they come for the new tech. The new tech were JPEG coins. We didn't get many new retailers. It was actually, a lot of it was existing NFTers and people in the outskirts of like other projects. We like rotated a lot of furniture. We didn't grow that much. We did grow some, but not that much. And you can see this with the fake out month here. This was the monthly MACD flip screen. This was March 2024. Okay. And ever since then we went down only because the balance sheet was still going down. I guess that's the only thing we can conclude. The balance sheet was still going down and the business cycle was low. So, whether they are causation, correlation, it doesn't matter. So that's what we can already see. Like, wait a minute, something broke this cycle already. There was already a clue that this thing was different. Friends, you know what's funny, man? Like all those crypto influencers, all those Soyboy influencers, the whole time, friends, they kept pooping on the 4-year cycle and now they're cheering it on. It was funny, friends. I'm not going to name names, but man, you know who they are. There's so many of you, I know you're watching me. Like, man, you guys literally, like, people aren't gonna forget. But you know what, friends? Sadly, it doesn't matter because if the business cycle goes up, new people join crypto, and then there are new suckers who come and follow these people who think they have edge in the trading, in the indicator, in the following this and following that, and then they end up getting bonked later on, ultimately at the end. You got to remember, friends, as well, everybody's yelling, bear market confirmed, bear market confirmed. Yes, I'm a crypto influencer. Suck on this foot. Suck it. Put this foot in your mouth. Don't worry. It's not gay if your eyes are closed. That's what my boyfriend told me. That's exactly what they've been telling, friends. All these crypto influencers saying, yes, hello, everybody out there. Bear market confirmed. Did you know there's a bear market? It's been confirmed by me, your favorite influencer. That's how they've been talking, like all over, friends. 35 plus crypto KOLs. Jim Cramer's on your side. Uncle Peter Schiff's on your side. Crypto Crappo's on your side. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. So we are finally going to get this monthly MACD flip. Thank God this is about to flip green, hopefully as we move into December and then next year, Year of the Horse. I'm excited. Now, let's crack on with some news, my friends. So we have, friends, it's official, right? The US Fed quantitative tightening has ended. But you know that now I told you there's a lockout rally. That's a disbelief rally. Okay, what's disbelief? All right, I could. You like that, huh? You like that? I've picked it out. I don't know why, friends. It's like I'm reading this code of the Matrix. Yeah, because I'm here 18 hours a day, right? You know, like I enter a total Zen state, and I've already told you what they're saying. Who's they? The crown. You know, voices from the crown, like this omnipotent, right, organism that's coming out here. They're saying QT ending is not the same as QE. So what they're basically, let me tell you what that actually says. What that says is, it says, hey, altcoiners, you're so stupid and you have no value that no one's going to buy you up early, because the only way altcoin, that's what they believe. They believe that altcoins only have value if the US Fed cuts rates big time in one slash and prints money and says to everybody, hello, please go take on risk. You're allowed now to take on risk. That's what they want. That's zombie virus stuff, because that's what happened last time. Okay, but I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something, friends. You know here, this is the Fed balance sheet. You know, before this point of time, right, the Fed did QE 1, 2, and 3. Okay, you can't see on this chart here, but the Fed did QE 1, and then 2, and then 3. And then here you have, this is the year 2013 and 2014. The US Fed did nothing with their balance sheet, right? Nothing. And I want to look at this. Okay, they did not expand the balance sheet. 2014, 2015, and 2016, 3 years. Okay, they did not expand the balance sheet, 2 or 3 years. And guess what? Altcoins still had a mega monstrous alt season here. All right. And it's funny, they did QT and it caused the bear market again. So you look at this, friend. This is an enormous run. This is others BTC rallying 17x, and then Bitcoin did a 20x. So that is others went up a literal, not exaggerating, 320x in market cap. Yeah, that's how big it was. Right? It went from like literally a $200 million market cap for everything to like, whatever, 60 or 100 billion or something. Right? That's how big others was. I'll show you. Here it is right here. You can see it right here. You see this part from here, others. In 1 year, it went up 353x. The industry went from, there you go, 200 million market cap up to 78 billion. Wow, I guess right. That's pretty cool. Nice guess. So that was 0 QE. Okay, that was literally balance sheet went sideways. Sideways. Do you get it? That's what it's expected to do now. Okay. So there has been an event in the past where the balance sheet was not expanding, and it's funny, we got the biggest alt season of all time. Now, you might ask, but Sammy, why is that? It's because, friends, back then, okay, the economy, look, the economy just took so much damage from 2008 that it had been enough years and it was just ready to go up. That's it. It was just ready to go up. Also, you might think, but hey, Sammy, I remember 2017, Donald Trump was president. Yeah, Donald Trump was president. And look, this is what happens. Let's go check out what happened in 2017. Look at this. Friends, this is literally from 2017. If here is 26, look at this. We went into 2017 with a PMI of 54, okay? So it went in with PMI 54, and by the end of the next 12 months, the PMI went up to 59, okay? So actually ticked up there, 59 to 60 here. So this is pretty much it. You see that rising PMI environment? This was it, all right? That was the greatness that we got there. Look where we are right now. Nothing's kicked up. What's it going to be? Is it the AI stuff? We don't know exactly, but that's showing you the context of what happened last time. So people waiting on the sidelines. So I wanted to give you that information. People waiting on the sidelines, and there's a lot of them Soyboy bears. If we do go up next year, it doesn't have to be with the QE at all. Like it didn't need it last time. Let's continue. White House advisor. So this is Kevin Hassett. Okay, Kevin Hassett says he would be happy to serve as the US Fed chairman if President Pump picks him. So something about Kevy Boo, friends. Kevy Boo served on the Coinbase advisory board. So like, man, that's big. Fred, that is, oh my God. Fred, like the amount of like excitement this should generate, but the PMI is so low and we're so destroyed. This is, friends, I can't overstate. Like, we have the guy closest to the money printer who used to serve on a freaking Crypto Exchange Advisory Board. Crypto Exchange Board, friends. This is phenomenal news. That's why, to me, it increases the odds that when the bull market comes and PMI is 58, 59, maybe even hits 60, maybe friends, because it's been down for so long, maybe we see a stupidly high number like 65 PMI, something ridiculous. When it does happen, it increases the odds to me that we actually finish Euphoria with Kevy Boo Hassett saying in like a FOMC or some interview in the People at the very, very end, one of those the post-FOMC meetings, where he says, because you know what? We'll consider adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Just say the word, bro. Just say it. Because that, my friends, is where people finally relinquish their currency units. And they go, oh my gosh, just like gold, wink, wink. Oh my gosh, the world's biggest central bank board member just said he's going to print currency and accumulate this internet Ponzi. Me, the woeful retailer who didn't believe in anything, who's been following all the Soyboy bears, painting my fingernails, watching Eric and Udi pash each other all day and night with glitter on their face. Me, the woeful retailer, I can now finally buy into crypto because crypto's here to stay. That's like that's the climactic moment. And that, my friends, is when I'll be going like, I think the party's gonna die from here. Sorry guys, it's over. You know, but hopefully that's a long way to go in terms of prices up there. All right, you don't have to worry about that, friends. I gotta worry about that because I'm gonna have a totally new audience, which is just, it is what it's like. You never know, maybe my YouTube subs are like 100,000, 150,000. Friends, I know I'm not here for the numbers, but after the poo-poo that I have to listen to, you know we deserve 500,000 plus a million here. Like, there's absolute junk out there. Absolute junk. But that's what might actually happen. You know, that's why, Feds, if you ever see streams and hordes of people giving me the crown emoji, just start selling, bro. Don't ask questions. Just start selling. If you see Friends Crypto Banter say, we'd like to invite you onto the show for an interview, you know, if you see that in that world, just literally as soon as I announce it, just literally go to your portfolio, just take off 10%. Don't even think about the timing. Just take off 10% if you ever see that. Okay. What if it never happens? It's all right. We've got our other Coinbase App Store ranking 1, exotic top signals, and other stuff too. The total liquidations chart has not been this flat in months, friends. So I just want to show you this. This is actually bonkers. Look at this. Total liquidations here. Thanks to CoinAss here. Total liquidation. So we've had a very dead period. So I feel like it's the calm before the storm. And yeah, friends, you know, the end of the years, like it's meant to, this is how you know, friends, we've been already in a bear market this whole year, man. Like end of the year is meant to be big for the bull market here. This is just dying. Literally dying. The activity's down. Yeah, PMI and the cycle's too low. I think what I've noticed is just from my anecdotal friends and family, and I've noticed with you guys as well, it's funny, we all think the same. Everyone is so sick of this year. Everyone, fans, people not even in crypto or betting crypto, they don't check it. They're affected by their own businesses. A lot of people I've seen, they're not waiting until like December 18th to take their holiday. People want to start on the 14th, on the 12th, on the 10th. People want to start as early as possible. They're so done with this year. A lot of people have just written off this year already. You know. Remember, friends, I'm quite early when it comes to these. Sometimes too early. Remember in September I said, look, I'll just write off this whole year. Do you remember? I said, man, I'll just be honest. I don't like saying this. But I said, write off all of this year, plus write off January, February next year. And what the hell, just make it March as well. That actually broke my heart because like we've been gone for such a long time. And for me to just capitulate and go, you know what? Okay, the next 6 months are going to be trash. You know, so like, and here we are going through it. It's sad. I didn't even, I remember those words coming out of my mouth. I felt like I was basically just getting knifed in the heart just saying that. You know, because we've been through Black Swan territory already, and now we just got to extend it more. So the Nasdaq, friends, is pushing to launch tokenized stocks first. Once again, like, friends, this is not what you see at the end of bull markets, man. This is infrastructure. You know what I mean? Like, okay, end of bull markets is the infrastructure is already done, and then your local nurse, her career as a nurse is now over. She's now flipping prediction market liquidity pools or something. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm going to quit my job. There's so much money here. You know, that's, and the bull market stuff. That's everybody's now in type of stuff. We're not there yet, man. Arthur Gaze, friends. Arthur Gaze has written an extensive Tether FUD post. So Tether made a post. They showed their balance sheet. And then Arthur made a post. You got to remember, friends, let's disclose stuff. Stablecoin supercycle. Arthur Gaze, okay? Arthur has token unlocks from Athena. They have their own stablecoin. That was the one that actually depegged on October 10th, a price oracle manipulation on Binance. So he gets token unlocks for that, right? So they directly compete with Tether. So he made this big FUD post saying that Tether is under collateralized. And he says by the way, it's barely under collateralized, okay? I think 17% of Tether is Bitcoin and gold. So if Bitcoin and gold drop 30% and stay there, that's a big move for gold. That's like unwinding, but that's gold losing 10 trillion of market cap, okay? So after this big move, so if they both drop 30%, technically Tether is under collateralized by a couple of percent. Insolvent. It can't withdraw everyone, but they still have all the treasury bills and they're earning income. So the Tether CEO, Paulo, he replied to Arthur Gaze and he says, hey man, your FUD fails because you have to count the $30 billion of group equity. So Tether have investments in places and I think they have their own shares as equity for their company. It's 30 billion, right? Yeah, maybe it's not liquid, but technically it's 30 billion, okay? But also on that, they're making 500 million a month or about 5 to 6 billion a year just in treasury yield income. So if you count them in, they're over collateralized, okay? So basically, friends, as well, the Tether FUD recirculates. We never thought we'd see it again. It's like a joke now, right? Friends, Tether FUD, just a lot of you don't know this, okay? So when I came into crypto 2018, the Tether FUD would come out like every 3 months. And the Tether FUD, it was really powerful because Tether was actually, they were running a Ponzi in the early days, right? And people believed that the money was fake because they couldn't see the bank accounts. Because Tether would keep minting money. And then people believed that Tether would mint money and then they would sweep up the order book for Bitcoin and they'd keep the Bitcoin themselves. And they thought that they were doing a big loop. So there were all these accounts. Friends, there's even a dude on Twitter. His name is Bitfinex. So this guy's been going around. Friends, he had this account since like 2018. And he just write these long, extensive Tether FUD articles. And he was wrong. He was wrong. Just think about that, man. That's just being a total bear on something. You just got it wrong. And guess what? Even if you were right, who the hell cares? Like, how much money could you have made? But you know, actually, I want to show you this as well. I can't believe I remember this, but you got to learn this, friends. You got to learn this, okay? There was a new guy. I remember, okay? I forgot where he was from, maybe Reddit or something. And let me take you back to here, okay? When Bitcoin was at the end of 2020, rallying up, okay? There was a guy, I remember messaging him somewhere, okay? He made an article saying, Tether's a Ponzi, it's going to collapse, Bitcoin's going to $1,000, okay? He basically said that here. And this is, friends, this is where when I learned about like the real reality of most humans just aren't cut out to make it. And I was actually amazed. So Ethereum, friends, was literally at this point, Ethereum was like $300, $400. And we all believe it was going to $10,000 back then, right? So 25x. But even then, I still did a 10x, but still huge. So instead of this guy coming buying undervalued anything, he's doing what, you know, the 4-year cycle Soyboy bears are doing. He did the same thing. He just took a totally bearish view while everything's cheap. And instead what he did is he deposited like 401k money or whatever into a Bitcoin short. Because he says, okay, Tether's running a Ponzi. He goes, I'm putting on my short. He wrote a big thesis. He goes, he's shorting Bitcoin. And it was fun. I couldn't believe it, friends. It was funny. It's sad, but you know, he starts shorting Bitcoin in like 22, wrote his own article. And then 3 to 4 months later, he'd blown it. You know, maybe he had 100K. I think he was like a college kid or, you know, coming fresh out of college. I think he had 100 grand to his name. He put in like 20 grand on this. He goes, this will be one of the big bets. And looking back, he was probably inspired by Michael Berry, you know, the Big Short. Michael Berry comes out. He's like, oh, I see a lot of excited people. They're all stupid. I'm the smart one. And then he puts on a short gets blown to pieces. And by the way, as you get blown to pieces, there's literally alt season, altcoins, everything's mooning. So you get double destroyed. You know, friends, all those Soyboy bears who are calling for the end now, they're getting their audience is getting double destroyed if we go up. Because not only are you sidelined, but you're not long. Yeah? So not only are you short, you're missing out on the long. So the pain is going to be even more accentuated on the way up. Check this out, friends, as well. Uncle Peter Schiff says Bitcoin is a fake asset. Now, if you look closely, I have a cute little Epstein Island emoji for Uncle Peter Schiff. Let's crank it for Uncle Peter Schiff. You know what I mean? Having fun on the island? Hey, that's not a lollipop. Are they ever gonna really tell us the truth? No. Michael Saylor, friends, he has tweeted, what if we start adding green dots? As I mentioned for you earlier, friends. So this is Michael Saylor. Orange dots are when they buy. I don't know what green dots are. Because, friends, I want the most entertaining outcome. I wish green dots means he buys Bitcoin Cash. Because as you know, I'm just thinking about that myself. Because Bitcoin Cash is just the green Bitcoin logo. Just imagine he did. Oh my gosh. Whoa. That would literally send the whole industry into a freaking tailspin. No one will know what the hell's going on at that point. But I think green dots might be dividend payments where they're paying out investors. That might be what it is. We'll see what it comes down to. Remember as well, the MNAV of MicroStrategy is below 1. So, and they've hinted, friends, I think Mr. Fong or Mr. Pong, the CEO of MicroStrategy, because Michael Saylor is just like, you know, the Bitcoin dude now. He has hinted that they will sell Bitcoin to make their shareholders square. All right, they will announce it maybe at some point in the future. So, like, I feel like the digital asset treasuries, it might be the BitConnect Ponzi by the end, maybe, but we need to get to silly levels. You know what I mean? We haven't seen silly stuff yet. MicroStrategy says they will only sell Bitcoin if its stock falls below NAV and if no capital is available. So if they have absolutely no capital available and there's public cry and the market is not pricing their stuff up, they will come and demonstrate with a few. They sell Bitcoin, they buy their share to square it off. I think they have 59 billion of Bitcoin. Someone said to square off the stocks, to just swoop it back to fair value, you need 750 million. So not that much, right? Just a couple of percent, which is literally one good day of inflows from the ETF. Okay. But that will mark some FUD as well. You know, friends, they might sell before the end of the cycle and might make it tough. You know, MicroStrategy, imagine they actually sell a bit of Bitcoin to square off their holders like in June next year. Yeah, that's gonna, and then I'm gonna have to say, remember, the bull market ends when you run out of buyers. It's not forced selling. So the cycle's still on. PMI is still high. We're not going down. We'll cross that path when we get there. Fidelity's tokenized money market fund on Ethereum now exceeds $250 million under asset management. So why I want to show you this as well is because it's going up only. Look at this. See this chart, friends? It's going up only. Yeah. This is tokenized money market fund on Ethereum. So real world assets, stablecoin supercycle, money market funds, it's all the same junk. It's all US dollar stuff throwing itself around. Positive for the industry. Showing growth. That doesn't feel like bear market stuff. Oh, these things are going parabolic on TradFi Wall Street companies. Oh no, a bear market's starting. No, man, that's not how bear market. They're still expanding. You know? Check this out. Elon Musk says working will be optional in less than 20 years because of AI and robotics. Bull crap. Friends, we're slaves in the system. You think we're gonna be let free in 20 years? I want what you're smoking, huh? Oh yeah, that's some good stuff, huh? Not cut with anything this time. Elon Musk also says Bitcoin is a true currency based on energy. You can't legislate energy. Yeah, these just look like mumbo jumbo words. You know what I mean? But look, just to show, just inform you as well. There's always new people coming. Welcome, welcome. Take a seat over there. Keep your pants on, please. There's a prevailing meme in everyone's head where people think, this is even in markets investing, they think just because it costs you a certain amount to make a product that's the floor value and they'll never sell below it, totally wrong. Okay. Oil companies can sell oil below what that costs them if they need liquidity. That's it. People will sell things for whatever they want. That's what gives you the gyrations of the markets, right? I mean, oil went to negative, dude. We literally saw oil at negative $40 a barrel because no one wants to take, you know what I mean? So these things, wacky things can happen. So, you know, it's not a guarantee that, you know, oh, because it costs Bitcoin miners, you know, $98,000 one day, that it can never drop below 98,000. Okay, it will. It does. It will. And just because it costs someone to do energy, remember, it's all about the demand, friends. If people don't demand it, it doesn't matter where they set the floor price, okay, of supply. Now, you probably want to know just as well as I do where to next. What I'm going to do is show you the Ethereum price chart at $3,000. Hopefully, we get to see a friendship recovery by the end of December. Some sort of friendship recovery. That is to December. And then we have January, friends. This is Year of the Snake. Somewhere here. Somewhere here might be... Don't know what it's going to be, friends. I don't know what it's going to be. A fake thing. I don't know how low it's going to go. Obviously, we hope it's higher low stuff. Boop. Hopefully, it's higher low stuff. And everyone will just get out here. And then we move into Year of the Horsey. That's look, what we're hoping. But look, we're also prepared. We've already accepted, okay? You know, there's a lot of the Soyboy bears going, you're in denial. No, I haven't seen a single bull in denial. We're just saying, okay, yeah, man, maybe next year really is trash. Okay, it's been trash for 4 years. All right, let it be trash for another 5, 6, 7, 10, 30 years. Okay, waste of a life. Cool, bring it. We don't care. You know, he's in denial though. If altcoins go up from here, they're still going to be waiting for QE, friends. They're not going to buy in. Once you've sold and paid taxes, friends, you got to understand their thesis. Like, I listen to them, okay? Literally, the only thing that can break their capitulation is Ethereum 5,000, Bitcoin 130. That's it, okay? Ethereum and Bitcoin new highs, game over. Now they need to start having a re-entry strategy, you know, and it's going to be really tough for them as well. But you're going to see them walk back a lot of the comments going, oh, no. I never said it was 100% chance of a bear market. I just said it was 99.25% chance of a bear market. You know? Friends, like I said, they're the same dudes who say, it's not gay because our eyes were closed when we kissed. Keep telling yourself that. I'm going to keep watching this Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, friends, has to be headed lower. You got stablecoin super cycle. We got Wall Street coming in, perp dexes, privacy, all of this stuff. PMI is still yet to show the friendship. Like, subscribe, Papillia, but I don't know. Catch you in the next one.